DevOps is literally the bringing together of the development and operations organizations. Our goal here is to more integrate and collaborate these teams so that we can accomplish faster time to market of our applications with lower cost and higher quality. It's very common to think of this, like most tech trends, as something you buy, but it's actually something you have to do. There's a people aspect, a process aspect, and yes, a technology aspect. So you can't go buy DevOps and you can't really just hire someone to do it for you. You really have to think through how you're going to affect DevOps inside the organization. Even though we're early in this whole transformation to DevOps, we're already seeing some great positive outcomes. Vance and Bourne recently did a study where they found a 20% improvement in time to market, a 22% increase in quality, and an 18% reduction in cost. It's fantastic to see that even though we're just really getting started, we're already unlocking great value. For each of the disciplines involved in application development and delivery, the mindset really does have to change. You know, we never design and build cars or computers or airplanes the way we build software today, and this has to change. We got to think about development not as 5, 6, 20 teams doing a bunch of work and then assembling it all together and seeing if we can make that stuff work together. Think of it more like the computer analogy, where the CPU already works before it's put into assembly. The graphics card already works before we ever go to assembly. That kind of thinking's got to pervade the way we do development from now on. The test organization has a completely different job as well. Currently, testers think about their activity as doing testing work. The problem is that machines should be doing that work, and they should think of themselves also as an engineering effort. They should be test engineers building the engineering that tests the system for us. So that if I need to test this 5 times today, I have a machine do it 5 times, not a person go through the activity 5 times manually. This is the only way we're going to be able to take up the rate of change without adding risk of failure. And the ops mindset has a lot of change too. The challenge for ops typically is to watch systems and to think in terms of infrastructure, but really it's about application delivery. They need to think that they are part of the goal of the fast, safe delivery of applications. There are 3 key elements to making DevOps happen. The first is to alleviate the development constraints. You look at most enterprise software and it's full of delays and waiting. Developers are waiting on test environments, they're resetting data, they don't have access to the changes that are being made by other development teams, and this all has to be alleviated. We need every one of these development teams completely constraint-free. You do this with service virtualization. It simulates those environments that don't exist. It simulates those changes that haven't even been made yet. It controls the data, so every development team is running at full speed. The next challenge to solve for is building environments, promoting those environments into production. The challenge we have today is that what we call runbook automation is a guy running from desk to desk, writing down on a book the things that he needs to do in order to build an environment or promote changes. And obviously that we can't do fast, safely. So what we need is release automation. That allows us to have, in a sense, a conveyor belt, and for all of these changes to move quickly and safely all the way through the test environments and into production. And equally important, we've got a reverse on that belt so that if we deploy something that doesn't work the way we expect, we can roll that change back very quickly. When we go fast, we increase our risk of failure. Automation solves and mitigates that risk. And finally, we need a feedback loop from operations back into development. It's incredible how often development organizations don't know what my application response time is at peak, what the common data scenarios are, the typical use cases of the application. They're hidden from this knowledge. DevOps helps us get these teams together and helps create that feedback loop we need so that development can make changes quickly with the understanding of what operations is currently observing the applications do. We do this with data mining. We leverage the logging and monitoring tools already applied to your applications so that we can get that feedback to development. These 3 capabilities are really just the start. You've got to think about all kinds of things when you think DevOps in today's infrastructure. I've got to be able to deploy applications across clouds I can't trust. It makes me rethink my entire security strategy. I've got to drive through whole different type of portfolio of activities. I've got to manage my spend and my understanding and my staffing across all of those things. I have to understand how they affect my most modern mobile platform with my oldest legacy mainframe platform. And I've got to do all of this throughout the organization. So DevOps is bringing dev and ops together, but it affects every part of the organization. So let's get started. Pick a critical application and set a monthly release target. As soon as you talk to your teams about it, they'll start identifying all those development constraints that make that hard, all of the lack of automation you need in test, all of the manual effort that makes environment, production, and deployment so difficult. And this starts your DevOps journey. You can bring those teams together and you can start solving these problems to make DevOps happen.